sunshine and I'll shit on your parade. Don't get me started on doing Michael Caine. My opinion matters, yours will fall in last place. I'm not shutting up and you'll be learning my name. Fifth in the family, but first in my mind. 1 out of 10, but I'm ranking just fine. We've only got now, there's no afterlife. Look, Mom and Dad, I'm just speaking my mind. Everything's coming up Kyle tonight. Everything's coming up Kyle tonight. Everyone's coming on Kyle tonight. Wait, what? No, nobody's coming on Kyle tonight. Everything's coming up Kyle tonight. You can't shut this mouth, but you're welcome to try. I only stop talking and drink, smoke, or eat and cry. I never shut up, gonna talk till I die. Gonna talk till I die. Everything's coming up Kyle tonight. You can't shut this mouth, but you're welcome to try. I only stop talking and drink, smoke, or eat and cry. I never shut up, gonna talk till I die. Gonna talk till I die. Gonna talk till I die. Gonna talk till I die.
Hey everybody, welcome to another live episode here of Kyle Mocha Won't Shut Up. Live on the Houseboat, Tommy Lee Jones, every Tuesday until further notice at 9 o'clock. Usually this would be our last episode before we take a little bit of a break, but fuck it, we got nothing else to do.
Yeah, we're here with you guys.
We are here with you guys, and we are going to be having a bunch of shit to talk about tonight, a bunch of fun stuff in store. But first and foremost, I have to say I am joined by Mr. Justin Olimpedo.
Hey, man.
Oh, how's your day going?
It's a good day.
That's good.
Good day.
It's good. Have you started to go crazy at all with any of the nothing to do thing?
No.
You're good. Sanity levels are all right.
Sanity levels are good.
That's good.
You know, there's been a refocusing of things. It was like I had said, I had woken up the one day and sort of lost a day and then realized I was depressed and went through all that. And now it's like...
Back at it?
Yes, just like back into the groove, trying to get things done.
You got to pull yourself up by your bootstraps, as they say. You know, you got to get yourself into the good mood if it's not gonna.
But I mean, it's been
just
good,
present
man.
Itself.
I got a new bike this week.
Hell yeah!
Just a used mountain bike.
Fuck yeah! I miss having a bike. I used to have a bike. I had a bike pretty much at all times until like 6 years ago. I don't know what happened. Well, I do know what happened. It broke, and then I never got another one. I never. Ever got another one. But I did get another one of these. I got another one of being joined by Mr. Zachary Stormy. That's a nice soft open there. Oh. We hear some chuckling in the background. Now, this week, we have a very special guest. Not in the house, but on the houseboat still. We are joined by Mr. Mikey Martino via Discord.
Heyo.
What's going on, brother?
What's up, man?
Not
What's up, guys?
too much. Now, Mikey is in the midst of getting ready to move, so his house isn't presentable. So we're letting him slide on this because we wanted to talk to him because he's so pretty. But we do have that really nice in memoriam picture of Mikey up there. It really, really looks like something sad happened, but luckily,
I will definitely be looking down at everybody at my funeral.
Yes, you will.
Just like in this picture.
That'll be the look. Now, anytime that I'm just gonna be like, is he actually paying attention? I'm just gonna look and it's you staring right at me, like, yo, motherfucker, what are you doing? dump.
This kid's in heaven.
This kid's in heaven. What are you doing talking to me like that? But yeah, Mikey's here. We're going to be talking about some movie stuff in a little bit. But as always, we are here to play you guys some music, talk about some random bullshit. We do have a very awesome featured song from One Man Show, a.k.a. our buddy Dave Beecher. We're going to be premiering one of his songs off his latest release, Phoenix. And then we are also going to be playing our final pop punk album in our pop punk endeavor. We do six songs per quote unquote album, and this one is called Modes, blah blah blah, a bunch of words, and then it ends with Love the DMV. So we're gonna be showing you guys one of those new hit ditties. It's gonna be the hottest thing on the charts. And Zach, just literally just finished doing it. We took a little bit more time, maybe like an extra hour today of fucking around with the basis of that song.
Yeah.
But we still didn't start recording drums till like 6 o'clock. So it's just like we took an extra hour just to kind of fuck around. You were always fucking around in different things, and one thing that we like to fuck around with is what we drink. Our just sipping beer today is Lucky Streak. If you are looking for something that is cheap and wonderful, and by cheap and wonderful I mean cheap and drinkable, Lucky Streak is a great option. It's $13.50 or whatever for a 30-pack. It's a really good thing to know about when
you're trying to get on a Lucky Streak.
Start with Lucky Streak.
Start with Lucky Streak.
They are good, but we do always like to find some weird beer to bring to you guys and give a little taste so you guys don't have to. So let's jump right into what are we drinking?
Hey.
We drink it so you don't have to. Run to you in the morning to the bathroom. Cheap booze and craft brews. Run to you in the morning to the bathroom. What are we drinking? What are we drinking? Yeah!
Alrighty, so today we do have kind of a, I mean, technically we already talked about Lucky Streak, so we have like a 3 for today. The first beverage, do you want to start with what we think is going to be good or what we think is going to be bad?
I say we go with what we think is going to be bad.
All right, so the first thing that we're going to be sipping here tonight is a 16 fluid ounce can of Bud Light Lime Cranberita. It is margarita with a twist. It is 8% alcohol by volume.
How much was this?
It was $8 for a 4-pack.
4-pack, yeah.
So really not that bad. Maybe even less than that, like 6 or 7. And if you look at the top, it does say it is a limited winter edition.
If you look at the top, it's really dirty.
They're really dirty.
Really
I
dirty.
did not clean them, and I am just realizing now how dirty they are. So we are probably in for something disgusting on this.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
There is more dust. Now I'm concerned with what winter this is an edition of. That is, oh my God, that is nasty. There is literal shit in here probably.
Mikey, are you drinking anything?
Yeah, you sipping on anything over there, Mikey?
Oh yeah, dude, I got a vitamin water.
Nice. Vitamin water.
Yeah.
Vitamin water. Is there anybody in the world that you think says vitamin and water?
Yes.
Like, so somebody
Definitely
like,
not.
oh, what are you drinking? Oh, it's vitamin water.
Well, I will say it just smells like cranberry juice.
Just smells like cranberry. I'm still kind of making sure all the
alcohol
particles.
the alcohol will kill
The
it.
alcohol will kill it. It is true.
Maybe.
But this is fucking.
Horrible
This
smelling.
smells bad, and I literally held it 6 inches away from
Okay.
my face. So
I just took a sip.
oh my God, I don't want to take a sip.
I took a sip. It just tastes like juice to me. Really?
Oh,
It just tastes like juice.
oh.
Tastes like bad decisions.
He's like, it
Get
tastes
off
like
of these.
deuce, man.
Oh my
It tastes
God.
like deuce to me, dude.
Tastes just like a goose would.
I'm out of here.
This is the tartness of every canned
It is
shitty,
super
like
sweet.
all the shitty drinks that we've done in the past, where you're just kind of like, all right, it's a little tart, it's a little
Oh,
sweet,
man.
but that is that plus the cranberita.
Can we just move on then?
We might need to just move on
I
from
think we
this.
need to chug these.
I
though.
don't know
All
if
right,
I'm gonna
all right.
chug it.
Well, after all right, let's chug it after.
Chug it after.
Yeah, taking a
He's
sip of
not
the-
listening to you.
All right, fuck it. I don't know if I can chug this.
No, I can't chug that. I can't. It's doing the thing to my eye.
I got
I
about
got
halfway.
lemonade face.
I got
All
about
right.
halfway.
So if you're looking for something
That's
really
bad.
shitty to drink, go
Don't
see if
do
you
it.
can still find a winter edition of
Oh,
Cranberita.
man.
That is, it was the only one in the store. I should have known. It was the only one on the shelf. I was like, hey, look at this. We haven't done this yet.
Whoa.
That is bad. All right, so now, Justin, why don't you let the people know about our actual decent beer that we're going to be drinking today?
Well, just walking around, they had moved everything around because I guess the guy you were saying.
Oh, yeah, the guy who owns Beer Time, where we buy all our stuff, also owns a cigarette shop, and I don't know if we're calling out things that we shouldn't be calling out, but basically they've combined forces.
Yeah,
so there's a bunch of tobacco in the Beer Time now.
Just
And
loose all over the floor.
just loot.
Loose
I mean, almost.
boxes,
They're literally
like the
just
back
boxes
wall is now
everywhere.
just
The
hanging
wall that
tobacco.
usually has all the weird beer is literally just packages and packages of big bags of like pipe tobacco, rolling tobacco.
Yep.
It's kind of. It looks like a place in the middle of the city during, like, you know, like they're getting ready for St. Patty's and they're just everything on hand, just throw everything in there.
Yeah.
So, Justin, you found this on
Yeah,
the
so I was
weird
walking
beer
around,
shelf.
and right away the box, which is the same coloring as the can,
Yeah, it's nice, old-fashioned
It,
looking,
caught my
nice
eye.
striping.
and it's called Night Pudding.
And what did I think it was called? I thought it was called night pudding.
Night Pudding.
Me
Yeah.
too.
I read it as, it's night pudding.
And
Night
it's
pudding
a
pale ale.
Is that
it's
putting
a
you
Flying
in the
Dog product, pale ale, celebrating the 40th anniversary of Caddyshack.
Yeah, so once we saw that, I had already said we were definitely doing
I
the
like
cran
everything
burrito.
about this so far, and I haven't tasted it.
Yep. Everything about this. Caddyshack, great movie. Pudding is amazing. Nighttime
Pudding-
is
Pudding
great.
is
Flying
amazing.
Dog.
Flying
is
Dog,
decent.
Raging Bitch is one of the
Raging Bitch is
one of
good.
the best beers ever. That's like one of the first, like around the time I was drinking like Rogue Dead Guy Ale. That was like one of those
Yeah.
beers I first got into.
This
All
is
right.
very mild and
It
and
smells
good.
like beer. It
It's
smells
a
like a
very
good hoppy
very
beer.
good. It's a good beer. Yeah.
Yep, that is. You know, I haven't really been having many IPAs lately. Usually
It's
I don't
very
buy
light.
cases of IPAs. This is the type of IPA I just want to sip on. Like, this is a good one
Yeah.
that I could sit there. I could probably have like 5 of them because, you know, an alcoholic. But I could definitely
not
just
too
sip
hoppy.
on 1 or 2 of them. Nice afternoon beer.
It's 5.5%, which is
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a good
Not like
middle of
this
the
fucking
road.
Piece of shit, 8%. Bud
This
Light
8%.
bullshit.
All right, now that I've had a little bit
Oh,
more of
God.
that, I'm gonna go back to the cranberry and see how we're doing.
Just try to go.
Yeah, just try and down it.
Oh no! So here's the thing. I've got the 4th one over here, so I'm challenging myself to drink that.
Oh,
That is
God.
literally so dirty. Oh
Do
my
not
god!
do not drink that.
Yeah, it's not. Do yourself a favor and ignore us for the cranberry.
You know,
Actually,
you're supposed to drink
listen to us
cranberry
for
if
it.
you have a UTI.
yeah,
This
This
will
isn't
give you
real-
an STD.
this will give you an STD.
You drink enough of
You're
these,
good on the
you're
UTI.
getting an STD.
Yep,
It's
yep. And
just-
most of it's from
oh,
the
it
top.
tastes-
It's from all
oh.
the fecal matter that we just licked off with our mustache.
like
And Mikey's
doing
just over there
bad
like
things
my
with
water,
dirty
my
girls.
vitamin water.
Yeah,
Good.
vitamin water's doing good. Is it the triple X acai berry?
My water has vitamins.
Oh, what flavor water are we going on?
It's the Focus one. It's kiwi strawberry.
Oh, good choice. Kiwi
Yeah, it's the
strawberry
best
is my
one.
favorite,
One of the
like,
best ones.
fake flavored juice ever since Fruitopia. back in
Anything,
the-
yeah.
Ever since Fruitopia in the 90s, that was like my go-to. That or the Sobeys, where they'd be like kiwi strawberry, stuff like that.
Strawberry
They still
banana.
make those.
Arizona.
Strawberry
Kiwi strawberry
banana.
Arizona.
I don't
Yeah,
like
yeah.
banana, but I will drink strawberry banana because I think strawberry tastes that. And they do complement each other.
The Body Armor strawberry
Ooh, I
banana
don't-
is.
See, I haven't gone with that one, but I've done almost all the other body. If they have coconut or banana, I generally shy away. But I gotta give that one a try. Also, what we need to give a try is things happening in the world that aren't related to this goddamn outbreak, this whole fucking coronavirus thing. And you know what?
Macaroni.
I tried to see if we
Macaroni.
could find anything that was
Macaroni,
happening that wasn't corona related. So let's see what's happening in the world, guys. Let's see what is happening. Hey, what's happening? Hey, what's happening in the world? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Hey, what's happening? Hey, what's happening in the world? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Hey, what's happening? Hey, what's happening in the world? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? All right,
You
guys.
should
So
really stop scaring me.
yeah, I really should stop. I jump every time. I really, really, really dug deep, and I really tried to find something that would be interesting to talk about that was not Corona related. And I honestly almost could find nothing until right before we were about to go live. I saw that Rob Gronkowski is coming out of his quote-unquote retirement and going to the fucking Buccaneers so he can play with Tom Brady. I saw that.
Is that real?
That's real. That's apparently 100% real. He's coming out of retirement and he is going to play. So the Patriots are technically trading him and getting stuff in return for a guy that was retired, which is crazy. So that's like the only thing I know that's not coronavirus related that has been happening in the world. And also,
I mean, Tom Brady did get kicked. I mean, this is coronavirus related, but Tom Brady got kicked off a beach.
Yeah, he was working out.
Oh, what a douche. What a douche. He's like a guy that has 3 beers open like I do right now. Oh, no. Zach, are you on 3 open beers?
Not for long,
Not for long. You're chugging that margarita. All right, so yeah, there's our sports corner for about the rest of the year until football season or baseball season starts up. What I do want to talk about is...
What if they just combine them all?
All of the sports in one on the field at the same time. Hockey players still get ice skates, though. They still get ice skates, and they get to do whatever they want with them. They can just, like, if one guy's big enough on the football team to spin the other guy on the hockey team around, you can slice necks.
All right.
Totally slicing necks. Totally an all-right move. What would be the... Okay, let's go off of this. What would be the best sport to have equipment for if you were going to play all sports against each other? Because I think baseball bats are a pretty good thing to have.
Yeah, but football players have helmets.
They have helmets and they have pads.
True.
And you know what doesn't get padded? Their kneecaps. True. Baseball bats. All right, hockey and hockey pucks and ice skates.
But you could... So you got the padding from football and hockey.
Yeah.
You know, you could pick what you want. You could have the knee
hockey,
pads.
You're all the way down your leg.
So you could be fully padded up, but you can't run as fast.
Yep.
Or you could have like the minimal kicker pad.
Shin guards would be the worst equipment. Shin guards and cleats from soccer would be the worst thing to have. But what you do, you've got the ability to sprint.
You play on a football field, and the end zones are 2 basketball nets, and you play with 20 to 30 tennis balls.
Oh,
then everyone
God.
has a choice of if they want a baseball bat, a golf club,
golf
whatever,
club's another good
whatever
one.
you can swing. And the whole thing is, it's just wild teams swinging at balls. There's no rules.
This sounds like something that would have been made up for Nickelodeon in 1993.
And there's a camera on the net, so every time one goes in the net, a point goes up.
All right.
But if you see somebody trying to do some shit, you just knock that shit out of the air.
And then there's the middle area where it's the synchronized swimming meets the
MMA fighters.
Yes.
Synchronized swimming and MMA fighters going at it on land. The synchronized swimmers are like, we're just trying to spin here, bro. We're just trying to
MMA
spin.
fights in the water. We have to drown your opponent.
Oh my God.
Man.
That would be water polo
the takedown,
to
guys.
the death.
You get a point for every death.
You got to tap within about a minute because you're running out of oxygen.
You're going to run out real fucking quick. All right. Well, that's better than anything that's actually happening in the world. But one thing that is happening next week, the state of Georgia has announced that they're going to be opening up movie theaters starting next week.
Yeah, I saw that.
Some people, whatever your opinion on it is, the whole situation, fine. I personally think it's a dumb idea to start opening up, especially movie theaters. Like, that's like the last thing.
Dark, nasty
rooms. They're gonna have regulations on how many people can be in there.
Eating, coughing,
you're
drinking.
eating, you're coughing, you're sipping on things.
Having sex.
You're jerking off. You're having so much sex, doing all that,
smoking weed.
But
everything you do at the movie.
But the
theater.
bigger thing for me right now is there aren't any movies out. Like they've pulled everything from release. Because nothing is open.
Although, if you had the chance to go back and see a movie that you missed in theater.
Well, this is what they're talking about. They're talking about they're going to start petitioning, if they haven't already, for all of the big filmmaking companies, all the studios, to give them old movies to start playing. So as they start opening the theaters, you might be able to go see like Jurassic Park or the original Star Wars or a Casablanca or something. Kind of like a lot of them do the throwbacks, but they're looking for classic movies. So what I wanted to ask, a lot of the time
it's just Blu-ray, just so you know.
Yeah, it's literally them just playing a Blu-ray. Especially if you go to certain local theaters, it's definitely just a DVD or a Blu-ray playing, and sometimes they forget to not show you the loading screen and all that. It's kind of fun. You've been there where you're like, oh, we're going to watch Hook now. I haven't seen Hook in so long. Press play, idiot. Press play on the goddamn DVD. Why is the menu on Cyclops? Fuck.
Yeah, I'm like, goddamn! I was like, I could have just watched this shit at home.
Yeah. Thank you for charging me and all of my friends $9 to watch this.
I think the fucked up thing about opening up the movie theaters in this way, where they're trying to pick shit to get people to come out to the movies.
Well, yeah, because they need to make their money. You know?
But But really, it should be the opposite. They should open up the movies and only play shitty movies.
They should
So for the next 2
only
weeks,
play foreign films. So
You
it's
can
like
go to the movies.
if you're going, you're
Without
getting an
subtitles?
education.
Yeah, but you're gonna have to watch some shit.
Yeah.
And then in 2 weeks from now, we'll start some better ones to slowly get
But
people
I mean,
back in.
I can
that's
see
the
that.
only way that they can. If
We don't
if they
want
can
a
get these
crowd.
companies to give them films where there's no terms on companies making money, because a lot of the times within the first couple weeks, months, whatever it is, the theater's making literally nothing.
Yeah, they're making concessions.
And then
That's
it's
it.
like I think it's Disney, and Mike, you can correct me if I'm wrong here. Disney, I think, is a 1 to 2 month, a 1 to 2 month deal where theaters don't make shit, and then after that they can make whatever.
So they just take all
it's something like
upfront.
that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they get like 90%. The theater gets 10.
Yeah,
And then
because
anything
they
after
know
that.
they're such a big draw for the theaters.
Damn, that's crazy. But now, what
Yep.
I want to ask you guys is if there was, I mean, this can be kind of like go in multiple different ways. But my original thought was if there was any movie that was going to come out back in the oh dear Lord, Zach, that was going to come back out into theaters that you would risk, whether you mask up or glove up or whatever, what movie would actually draw you back to theaters in the midst of... Is there any movie that you love so much that you would want to see? Because I could see if they told me they were doing Back to the Future 1... Really just Back to the Future 2. If they told me they were just doing Back to the Future 2, I'd be like, fuck yeah, like I kind of would start considering that. I saw Back to the Future 1... about like a decade ago when they brought it back, but
It's on fucking DVD. It's been on DVD for like 25 years.
I've never seen it on a giant fucking screen like that, and so that would be one that would.
You have
almost,
a projector in your house.
I know, and it's pretty big, but it's
Yeah,
not.
But he doesn't have the
there's a
sound
70-inch
system.
TV.
I do have a
There's a
decent-
70-inch TV around the corner from you right now.
There literally is. Almost anywhere I go, there's a 70-inch TV. I hang it around.
And that's
my
about as
neck
big as
like
Pocono
fucking
Cinema.
Flavor Flav.
So it's the same fucking
It
thing.
is almost. You're right. You're right. So, is there any movie for any of you that you would risk getting exposed to an epidemic to see in theaters?
No. No.
No movie. And Mikey, you're somebody that loves movies. There's nothing that.
Honestly,
Actually, yes,
I've been,
there is. The first movie I ever direct, I will go out and fucking see
Okay,
that
so
shit.
if
The
your
fucking
movie
Mandela.
was coming out right now, you would
Yeah,
still
I would
hold
be-
the
I would go see
premiere
that shit.
with nobody there. That'd be fucking good.
I've been really
Yeah,
enjoying them
because then I got
releasing-
an actual excuse that time.
It's true. That
I've
is
been
true.
enjoying them releasing movies just early to digital.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to do things for now. Obviously, everything's on hold, making movies, all of that. So, like, unless your movie is done filming,
Yeah, and they're
you
just, like,
can't really,
through
and they're
an
just like
editing
editing. People can edit from wherever.
Yeah.
But if you're looking down the line, them holding up for a month or 2 months or 3 months of putting out movies, they're just basically it's hitting pause. So all of the movies that were supposed to come out right now are still going to come out. Some of them might fall victim to just being lost for forever. But I think the digital release is a smart way. But something like they were talking about with was it Black Widow, right? Is that
Yeah.
That movie, if they were to release it on streaming, they would lose an estimated $900 million of box office revenue. Like that.
Oh yeah. It would make no sense for them to put it on Disney Plus. I saw Scooby Doo. The new animated Scooby Doo is going to be released straight to VOD.
I forget. Yeah, it's Zac Efron voicing in that one, I believe. He's playing. I think he's playing Fred. He could also
that
just
was going to
play
go.
Fred.
That was going to hit theaters, but it's going straight to VOD, and then right after it leaves VOD, it's going straight to HBO Max.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Fuck it.
I still want to see it. It looks good. I love Scooby Doo, so.
Drive-in theaters should be open.
A lot
They
of
were
drive-in
talking about
theaters
There are some drive-in theaters across the country that are open.
Well, we
yeah.
have one by
because
us.
You don't
We have
need to
Becky's.
get out of your vehicle at all. But
never
again,
go there.
concessions and
Becky's
things along
is
those
awesome,
lines
dude.
are
Honestly, if
probably
you can
on
catch
hold.
Becky's drive-in from
Yeah, I've seen
dusk
quite a
till
few
dawn,
clips over
it's
there.
fucking great.
Yeah,
you go from
I've
dusk,
never
you pack
done
your car
an
with
actual,
many people.
I've never done an actual.
I just thought of that
You're there
because
all
I said
night.
Scooby-Doo. The first movie I ever saw at a drive-in theater was the first live-action Scooby-Doo.
Ooh, with what fucking Matthew Lillard and Freddie Prinze Jr.
Yeah.
Wait,
Fuck
you've never
yeah.
been to a
First
drive-in
one.
theater?
I've never been to a
I
drive-in
Oh, we
theater.
have to fucking go then, dude.
Yeah. Oh, I need to do it.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
have
hell
to
yeah,
go.
dude.
The closest I've gone to a drive-in theater is watching Grease when they're at a drive-in theater. I think that's probably
dude. We'll go to Becky's, dude.
We'll take my fucking truck.
We'll go to Becky's.
Yeah, that's like the perfect drive-in theater fucking vehicle right there.
Because you can back up and just sit on the truck bed.
Well, what we should do...
Also,
that would be sick,
the cab of your truck is actually comfortable,
What we should fucking do
we can bring a whole army of motherfuckers.
Really good.
What we do is we go one time during the summer, and then we catch the dust till dawn. It's the same price as going in. Pack as many people as you want, and they show movies from night to morning.
Oh, fuck
everything that they've shown that year.
How strict is security?
And then
at this
leave
place?
the vehicle there and take an Uber home.
See, I was gonna say, can we bring cases of beer in the vehicle?
Technically no, but
technically no. All right,
like,
technically no.
Yes.
Like
how I generally am informed of rules. They say technically no, but you've already broken it.
Technically, you shouldn't be driving drunk after the movie, but yes, you can totally get hammered at the movie.
You're technically getting there at 7 o'clock at night and not leaving till 7 o'clock in the morning. So
yeah.
At some point, you'll probably fall asleep.
We got time to eat mushrooms. Right?
Oh, yeah, some good portobello mushrooms would be nice.
Yeah,
right.
dude.
Another thing that's going on in the world this weekend was, I don't know if any of you guys watched it. I don't think I discussed it with any of you. The Together at Home concert that Lady Gaga helped orchestrate happened in basically Jimmy Fallon, Jimmy Kimmel, and Stephen Colbert were like the quote-unquote hosts of it. Everybody doing the same thing, live streaming from their house.
Right.
Most of the music was definitely not live streamed. It was definitely pre-recorded.
Oh,
you know,
the Stones
Lady Gaga,
were on this?
the Stones were on this. Paul McCartney performed,
I heard about it.
and Elton John. And I just want to skip over everybody and go right to Elton John, because Elton John gave probably the worst performance of the week, including the Puddle of Mud cover of About a Girl. Like, it was
that was pretty terrible.
He's like almost 80.
He's 73 or 74, something like that. But yeah, like he's
that's almost 80.
It really is. It's very much so. If you said I'm almost 40 at 33, 34, I'm going to fight you on that. So I think he might fight you on that too. But you're right. You were 100% right. Closer to 80 than 8 at least, or 40, or really closer to 80 than most ages that he's been.
You're a lot closer to death than he is to birth.
Seriously. Whoa.
True.
Wow.
He did.
Yeah. Now, he did say last year that he was no longer going to be touring. He retired from touring last year, and since then I've seen more Elton John than I've seen in the last decade. I mean, granted, the Lion King movie came out, the Rocket Man movie came out. Like, he's been kind of, still like culturally relevant. But his performance of "I'm Still Standing" was like, and I was like, me and Dan and Mike and Kelly were watching it at our house.
Where was he?
And he was just in his driveway that looks like a
driveway?
It looks like a fake set driveway with a perfectly like lush green, I mean, it's obviously his house because he's a fucking bajillionaire or whatever. But he's got this lush green, like wall of like bushes or whatever, and he's up against it, and there's a basketball hoop and some basketballs just like clumsily, displayed on the ground
from all the hoops.
And all the hoops that that he was shooting hoops right beforehand. And
his children are young.
He has kids, so that does make sense.
How weird is that they're like teenagers, right?
Yeah, they're teenagers, and he's 73 years old, and Elton John. There's a lot of things to get over when your dad's 73, you're 13, and your dad is Elton John. But it was so goddamn fucking bad. It was one of the most depressing things I've ever seen, and I don't know if he was hammered, because if he was hammered, cool, like fine, you were just drunk. But he looked, as much as he looks all there all the time, he looked pretty on. But it was just like I could do a better karaoke version of that shit-faced drunk than
Kyle just said he's better than Elton John.
I am challenging Elton John to sing his own song. Now, he's already done his, and I'm going to have time to practice, but he's had a whole life. He wrote the goddamn song. It was so bad. It was so, just awkwardly, we turned off the concert after that. And it was just so fucking. I had a friend that was live live tweeting it, but basically just to my phone. That was just like, oh God, Bill and Melinda Gates are out here now, blah blah. And I was like, yeah, I have no interest in going back. But it's all because of fucking Elton John. It was just depressing because he's so good almost all of the time. He's phenomenal. And then it was just
would
sad.
it have been better
Sad.
if they like filmed it like he just got out of bed, walked into the bathroom,
It would explain
taking
the
a
groggy
shower,
sound.
like you know, washing his hair?
Would it
just
be
singing-
better if he was naked on camera showering? Yeah.
I'm not saying
Yeah, no, it
naked,
would've-
but I mean obviously the shot
well, shower.
from the
He's
belly
gonna,
up.
Hopefully he's naked. Belly up. I want belly down. That's the only way I want to see Elton John. Is belly down at
gosh.
73-year-old wiener, that overly used, experienced
Face
cock.
down, ass up.
That's the way I want Elton John. That's how it goes. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, we've got a very, very, very special musical guest this evening. He was supposed to be our actual guest tonight, but due to the outbreak that's going on and just an inability to get it set up in time, we're going to wait to have him on and play what was going to be his whole EP. We're going to get him on hopefully within a couple of weeks, maybe months. Who knows how long all this will go on. But our friend Dave Beecher, he goes by the name ONEMANSHO. He's a rap artist, and he's currently releasing his EP. This guy's been releasing music since 2005, 2006. You can go on Spotify. You can find pretty much everything he's ever put out up until this that's still yet to drop on there. All this music for Phoenix is available on iTunes or Apple Music. And he went to a producer in Pittsburgh. The producer is actually featured on one of the songs on the album or on the EP. It is 4 songs. Again, the album EP is called Phoenix, and the song that we're going to be playing is a song that is called Bury Heroin. I always say Bury Heroin. The song is about the loss of one of his friends from the addiction to heroin, and also the struggle of another friend who's affecting their family and still fighting with it. All of the music, again, is available on iTunes, Apple Music, and you can keep an eye on Spotify for this, or just go check out OneManShowMusic.com. That's One Man Show, no W on show, SHO. So without any further delay, let's jump right into the featured song of the week. Again, Bury Heroin by ONEMANSHO. We'll see you guys in a couple of minutes. Enjoy.
Bury heroin, just save your life. Bury heroin, just do what's right. You still have time to change your mind. Bury heroin, now rewind this rhyme. Bury heroin, just save your life. Bury heroin, just do what's right. You still have time to change your mind. Bury heroin, don't cross that line. Why begin? Why'd you even start? Why the sin? Why'd you go so far? Playing that part, you really broke our hearts. Now apart, that really wasn't smart. Reality escape, we get that point. The landscape changes when you disappoint. Never see a little girl, you're gonna miss your boy. Memories of your life that you can't enjoy. Why choose to use this repulsive drug? To yourself, damn man, you pulled the plug. Your own damn grave, you have dug. Facebook the last place to inspect your mug. There's remorse, of course you could use the help, but you didn't reach out, you stayed by yourself. Just know it does show, my heart does melt. I was too damn busy thinking about myself. Bury heroin, just save your life. Bury heroin, just do what's right. You still have time to change your mind. Bury heroin, now rewind this rhyme. Bury heroin, just save your life. Bury heroin, just do what's right. You still have time to change your mind. Bury heroin, don't cross that line. This drug resides in a town near you, affecting people you thought you knew. She's craving hard candy more and more, tearing down the family from the core. She's spending money at that grocery store. Nope, meeting Richard for another quick score. The little kids at home impatiently wait for the mother to arrive, but again she's late. Heroin has taken control of her brain, shooting up in a car while it's pouring rain. She nods on out, not feeling pain, while her life is slowly going down that drain. The cops arrive at the abandoned lot, need her with a spoon, heroin, big old rocks. She won't go to jail, rehab's that spot. Their time's a charm, relapse must stop. Bury heroin, just save your life. Bury heroin, just do what's right. You still have time to change your mind. Bury heroin, now rewind this rhyme. Bury heroin, just save your life. Bury heroin, just do what's right. You still have time to change your mind. Bury heroin, don't cross that line.
All right, guys.
I'm excited for when he actually, when he can come on.
When he can actually get on again.
He wants to.
He wants to
spit some of it.
He wants to actually like do a live
studio,
performance, which we have had a mock of a live performance on the show when Kurt did his. I mean, it wasn't a mock. He did perform. Kurt did perform.
Yes.
And so Dave wants to kind of go one-man show again. Go check out ONEMANSHOWmusic.com. Again, show with no W. And you can find him on the iTunes, on Apple Music, and soon all of this will be available. Yeah, I'm an old man. On the iTunes. And all of this will be available on Spotify as well. Speaking of, we're going to be released on Spotify. Our podcast will be available shortly. It's like currently uploading, I think, every episode ever Eric put up, so everything is just going to dump onto Spotify. Maybe that'll help us out. Who knows? Maybe a big dump really helps you out. I know it always helps me out when I take a big dump.
Yeah, especially when it's in my own pants.
Yep, you do that often. Again, the song Barry Heroin off of Phoenix, the new EP from One Man Show. Go check it out again. One Man Show, no W, OneManShowMusic.com. You can also find him on Facebook and Instagram, everything like that. Now, on to our music of the evening. We are, again, wrapping up our pop punk endeavor. We write different albums. If you've not joined in the past, or if this is the first time you're understanding exactly how we do our music, we write, record, mix, and master the song in about 3-4 hours every single Tuesday, and then we premiere it on the show live. The first time we all hear it all the way through as its finished product is right here on the show. Now, Zach, if you want to give them a quick, everybody probably knows about the modes that we've been doing. But if you want to give a quick background on the modes, which mode we were going, and what the feel was supposed Locrian.
So we're playing in C major, which really, we're playing in Locrian in C major, so it starts on B.
Yeah.
And then goes up the scale from B, which is so weird.
It really is strange.
Because B is next to C, that's a half step up. There's nothing in between B and C. So when you play B and C at the same time, it sounds bad.
It sounds, and the whole idea of Locrian, the feeling that it kind of gives you when you listen to, is supposed to be an awkward, off-putting, like a little like offsetting, because the dissonance of those two chords right next to each other. It naturally doesn't. So we, again, for the concept of this album has been all about my personal experience with vehicles, driving cars, owning cars, having sex in cars, and this one is about not knowing anything about cars. I was thinking, what is the most awkward situation I've ever been in a car? And being arrested in a car, having sex in a car badly, none of those amount to having to go to another grown man and go, I don't know why that noise is happening. Here you go. And them going, all right, well, that'll be $2,800. And I'm like, sure, it probably is. We'll just pay for it. I like this minivan a lot. So it's about kind of just the feeling of like, you're going to be taken advantage of. These guys know that they're going to take advantage of you. You know they're going to take advantage of you. Not every guy. But I used to go to just like the Sears auto body place because I worked at the mall. And you go there, and I knew a couple guys. My buddy Mo worked there. He would hook me up. But anybody else, I got royally fucked. Like everything. Like, I don't know how many times you're supposed to change air filters. But literally every single time you went there for anything, they're like, oh, well, the air filters need to be changed. And you're almost ready for an oil change.
Well, because they have to pay back for all that fucking equipment that they just bought.
Yeah. Now Sears doesn't have to pay anybody back for anything because they don't operate no more. So this song lyrically is about that, about being an idiot when it comes to cars. Mikey, you like me, you're a big car guy. You know a lot about cars, right?
Yeah.
Because this idiot drives a fucking Volvo.
Now,
excuse me.
Whoa.
Are you a car dude? I think so. Do you drive a Volvo? Yes, you ain't a car dude.
You ain't a car dude.
Sorry.
Now, I want to point out
I will say this.
something awesome that happened about 3 weeks ago. Justin had
really awesome.
It was hilarious.
I thought my car was falling on my leg.
His car almost fell on his leg.
My jack. I got a flat tire. Picked up Kyle.
Yeah.
We went and got food. Stopped at the store, and we stopped at Big Lots.
Yeah, we went to Big Lots, and then we were going
to Weiss to get beer.
Yeah.
I get in and like I'm starting to drive, and my car's pulling to the right, and I'm like, oh, I think I got a flat tire.
Yeah, for those that don't know, the distance between Big Lots and Weiss is literally like a half of a mile down one road.
Not even, maybe a quarter of a mile.
Yeah, maybe a quarter of a mile. Yeah.
So pulling the Weiss, notice that I do have a front flat driver's side. So I grab my jack the car up, get the tire off, and I'm like spinning my tire around looking for the hole.
You literally had just pulled your leg from being next to the car, and we're trying to find where the hole is, and all of a sudden, the whole thing comes down.
My jack basically gave out and broke.
It just broke, and under the weight of his vehicle, and so we call Zach, and then I'm like thinking, we were thinking like where, it's gonna, like we might need a second jack. And so I was like, let me just go, the shop's right there, Mikey's right there. Let me go see if, I think it was Tuesday, so we knew Richard wasn't there. So we were like, let's go ask Mikey. And I walk in and I'm like, hey, Mikey, do you guys have a jack? And at first I thought maybe you, Mikey, thought I was asking if we were selling it, if you sold jacks there. And I also kind of thought that because I forgot you had a car. And then you went, no, and I went, oh yeah, you just got a car, right? And you're like, yeah, I don't think it came with one though. And I'm like, it didn't come with a jack. And then me and you go to your car, we open it up, and we're like digging around, and you're like, oh, is this a jack? And then what's this? And there's all these parts, and me and you were like,
yeah, and I was like, I have no idea. Just take it.
Take all these things.
Let me just say, you can take that jack and throw it in the fucking garbage.
Yeah,
that thing is the most awkward,
Volvo
weird fucking thing to
junk,
use, dude.
Volvo jack junk. Oh god.
But we had to call Zach, and Zach came down with his truck jack, and that obviously worked.
Oh shit,
that worked.
Got the whole patch. It was just a fucking hole.
Yeah, but either way, I know very little about cars. Mikey, you might be able to relate lyrically to this song. Now, from the actual writing aspect of it for the drums, Justin, what was kind of the more challenging part? Because this one it wasn't the easiest flowing thing ever, but it wasn't like super challenging for you.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't really that bad. It, just like any time that we write, sometimes you get caught up in your own head on certain things, and you just keep playing the same thing over and over and over again. And with this, I don't know, I just wanted to keep more momentum, and I tend to go to halftime way quicker, but it seemed to work with a lot of the stuff in this song. So,
Zach, as far as your side of writing it, what was like you spent a lot of time on basically, I feel like, the rhythm of how, like, the song, like, you recorded the opening track, like the opening guitar part.
Well, at this point,
so many times,
doing the modes all in the same key. Well, I know what notes we have to hit. I know what notes we can't hit.
Right.
And this one being the most awkward and weird one when we're trying to write pop punk. And it's like, we struggled finding, like, I'd play a riff and look at you guys and be like, is that good? Yeah. And then we'd all be like,
yeah. I feel like,
all right, let's do it again.
Let's do it again.
I knew the notes were right, but I struggled to find the feel of
the structure of the song and all that. And at one point you were playing something, and I was just like, oh wait, do this, just like pull that and strum it out really like for a while. And then Justin goes, pretty sure that's a Foo Fighters song. So then we're like, all right, back to square one.
Yeah.
And then my mentality with the pop punk thing is just like every pop punk band rips off somebody at some point. Just take it and run. But
I actually didn't end up using that chord that we found.
Which is kind of was originally the basis for what we were building there. So I think this one, and correct me if you think I'm wrong, is probably the most effort we put into the actual maybe not the structure, but the actual writing of each part of the song.
Yeah.
And then even though like vocally it seemed to come pretty easy, this probably, I feel like overall this is probably the hardest we worked on one of the pop punk songs.
Probably.
And again, we did do about like an extra like hour of like bass writing on it.
Sure.
What length of time did we break any crazy pop punk records with this? Or were you right around? I know you were cutting stuff out at one point, adding stuff. Were you like the 4 minute?
Yeah, 420 maybe.
420-ish, somewhere
4 minutes exactly.
4 minutes exactly.
Oh, wow.
Oh, okay, all right. So we went with the title Not a Mechanic, which I think should just stay as the title of the song because it works about what this is about. And again, this song goes out to any single person who's ever owned a vehicle and just gotten their ass handed to them when they got the bill from the mechanic because they don't know how to fucking do shit. Like, if you're like me, you don't change oils. You can check fluids. That's about it. You can check fluids.
Give me that dipstick.
It's the old Mitch Hedberg joke of the check engine light comes on. I open up the trunk or I open up the hood. Engine's still there. We're good. All right. I checked the engine.
As long as the check engine light's not blinking, you're okay.
Yeah, sure. I didn't know that either.
No,
all right.
that's not
necessarily true, but I mean, you're in less trouble than if it's blinking.
Now I don't know what to
blinking
believe.
usually means a misfire.
It's a misfire. I just thought it meant that your gas tank was open.
Yes, your gas tank is totally exposed
That's
and
what
open.
I expected.
Along with, you're probably missing your light bulb fluid.
Probably. I need some light bulb fluid.
Yeah.
Do you inject the light bulb fluid right in with the syringe?
Right into your penis.
Right into the penis, and then your car lights work.
Yes.
I think that's how it goes.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So here's our Brunch Weekly original single off of our album Modes, the exploration of the exploitation of the modes of transportation of the American motorist, or how I learned to stop worrying and love the DMV.
Yeah.
I did it for the last time I had to do it. I did it. Here we go. Here is Not a Mechanic, the final song off of our pop punk album. We'll see you guys in just almost exactly 4 minutes.
Yep.
Enjoy. Jesus. Track.
See how this all works and find a meaning to those terms. I'm so far behind, but the problem isn't mine. If I'm will to bear, at your mercy I will lay. I'm like 1,000 you see. You'll take advantage of me. Use your words to mislead. Take advantage of me. Use your words to mislead. Like 1,000 you see. So take advantage of me. Calling you up. I need a job. If I said in my mind to leave my way behind, see how this all works. I'll find a meaning to those terms. I'm like 1,000 you see. You'll take advantage of me. Use your words to mislead. Take advantage of me. Use your words to mislead. Like 1,000 you see. So take advantage of me. Ignorance is bliss. Ignorance is bliss. Ignorance is bliss. If you can afford if you can calling you up, I need a job. I'm like 1,000 you see. You'll take advantage of me. Use your words to mislead. Take advantage of me. Use your words to mislead. Like 1,000 Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our next guest on Kyle Mocha Won't Shut Up.
Alrighty, guys. There you have it. Again, that is Not a Mechanic. And we are now joined by, I mean, he's been here the whole time, but we are now joined by the beautiful face and the beautiful voice of Mr. Michael Martino. Hey, buddy. Hey. Before we get into our topic, I do want to say James said that he thinks this might be the strongest hook yet, dudes.
Thank you.
Cool.
And when I kind of just like blurted it out, you just went, I like where you're going with that. That's a good one. And then we just kind of like morphed it into a better. A lot of the points when I'm recording vocals, you'll say things like just have more fun with it. A lot of times, just do it again, just do it better. But a lot of times, like just have more fun with it. And this one, you were like, I know it's not pop punk, but like think Mick Jagger, with it. And then you also kind of reference like doing the backup vocals to do something like Taking Back Sunday. So then I went, oh, punk rock Mick Jagger is the lead singer of Taking Back Sunday. Like that would be, Adam is pretty much the closest you get to that.
Yeah.
So glad you enjoyed it out there, brother. And hopefully everybody else enjoyed it as well. But we are here with Mikey tonight to talk about movies. It's usually what you're here for, brother. You're usually here for movies, TV.
Yeah.
You're our go-to resident dork on that shit. And I enjoy having you. So welcome back. I believe you and James are literally like tied neck and neck. Every time you do an appearance, you outdo the other for most appearances on our show. So we gotta keep that. I have the full count somewhere. I gotta actually get the numbers there. But for our regular viewers and listeners, you probably are familiar with Mr. Michael Martino.
Yeah.
Now today, because again, there's no new movies coming out. There's nothing like crazy awesome happening in the world of entertainment that isn't just, hey, rewatch things you used to love or watch things that you missed. And then I started thinking about what are some of the movies that we've missed in our lives. Right. There are hundreds of thousands of films that get made, thousands of films every year, and every year it seems to be more and more, especially with all the streaming platforms. And about 13 years ago, back in like 2007, I was caregiving for my grandmother, and I was just sitting on the couch all the time. And I went, you know what? My grandmother needs to be entertained, and I'm just kind of sitting here waiting for her to need to go to the bathroom or need food or something like that. We might as well watch movies. So I went and I made a list of the 500 greatest movies of all time, and I went through and I crossed off all of the ones that I had seen. Right. And then I went back and I went, let me see if Blockbuster has them. This is when you could go to Blockbuster and actually rent physical movies in person. And it was that wonderful like overflow into, you had the online DVD, like when Netflix first started.
Okay, yeah,
and they
the
were the
competition
delivery, right? So I was able to get at this point 3 movies out at a time. I would get 3 movies mailed to me. And then every time you returned a movie while you were waiting for your mail-in to be sent back, they would let you rent another. So at one point, you could technically have like 6 movies that are not yet fully returned under your name. So I would make a habit of making a list, go to Blockbuster in the morning, right when it opened, get the 3 movies that I wanted, and I would hang out and I would watch these movies with my grandmother. And then by the time we were done with them, I could go back to the store and rent 3 more and, just really binge a lot of film. And even after doing that, I have so many fucking movies that were on that list 13 years ago that I never got around to. I made a second part of the list with like 400 more movies and did the same thing. I basically based them off of IMDb ranking, AFI's top 100 films, and then box office results as well, and award shows, everything like that over the last like 40 years. So I asked you guys to come up with movies that you have been meaning to see, a movie that you have been, you should have already watched this movie at this point in your life, whether it's a movie that came out years ago, whether it's a movie that came out recently that you're just like, this is right up my alley, and for whatever reason, you, even in all of this, with all of the time that we have on our hands, you are like maybe I'll get to it. I haven't watched it.
Right.
So I have a bunch of them. So I just want to start off with the most recent one, and the one that has been bothering me because I do believe they're all available either on HBO or another channel that another subscription I have. And that is, I have never, not even one times, not even a little bit outside of the clips on late night shows when they've been promoting, I've never seen anything John Wick related. I've never seen a single John Wick movie.
Yeah, you need to watch those. And they're on most streaming services at this point.
They are.
Yeah.
So
They're so good. They're actually, if the third one's on HBO, I don't know if the first two are.
I would say when the first one came out, I was like, okay, it's Keanu Reeves, who I love. It's an action movie. I love action movies. And for whatever reason, I missed it. Like, it came out, it was just, like November Man and all these I Said I Was Out movies, and they brought me back in, all these Liam Neeson rip-off roles, and I was just kind of like, is this just another one of them that Keanu's doing? And I was kind of like, fuck it. Now, I never saw it, but you know what I did see? I did see the movie Keanu. The movie that is based off of John
the cat
Wick.
movie. I want to see that shit.
It is fucking the two of them. That's the Key and Peele.
Key and Peele.
And
that was right before they. Right after they cut the show.
They cut the show before he did Get Out and everything.
Yeah.
And that movie's fucking hilarious. And then I was talking to somebody about it. They're like, "You've seen Keanu, but you've never seen John Wick." And I'm like, "Nope." And then the second one came out, and I went, "Really? They made another one of those?" And then the third one came out, and everyone's like, "Dude, this shit is like."
It is, man.
Fuck. So
it is so good, dude.
I've never seen it, so I want you guys to tell me what are your reasons that you've all seen. Some of them or all of them? You've seen all of them?
I've seen all three, yeah.
All of them, yes.
What is the number one reason that I should watch these movies? Like, what is...
Before Mikey jumps and answers...
Yeah.
The only thing
before Mikey gives the correct answer.
I was so ready, yeah.
The only thing I'm going to say about it is there's no one thing to it. It's just... I mean, the story is a pretty basic story. But... The first movie sucks you in. The second movie keeps the ball rolling, and then the third one is just like the shitstorm of everything.
Yeah. Okay. All right, Mikey. What are your reasons that I should see John Wick? What do you think is like? What's the best part?
Can I just say in the third one, the knife scene when nobody knew how to throw knives is one of the funniest fucking things ever.
Yeah.
So good humor.
I'll give you three reasons. All right. You got Keanu.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Keanu.
You got Lance Reddick.
Okay.
You got Lance Reddick, right? And then you got Ian McShane, dude.
Oh, right? Okay, yeah.
Ian McShane's like the guy who runs the Continental.
Okay.
And which is the hotel for assassins.
Yeah, it's like a safe house.
Nice.
Yeah. Like you can't conduct business on those grounds, so every assassin, even if there's hits out on you or whatever, like no one can touch you. Like it's against the rules. And if you do, all the assassins will you'll get a hit put out on you, and all the assassins will go after you if you do some shit like that.
Exactly.
And yeah, dude. And so what's really cool is that like with each movie, it uncovers a bit more lore about the world of John Wick and like him and his world. You know what I mean? I guess what I should say is like the first one's like just straight action movie. Like boom, it's just got a simple plot. His dog died. He's gonna take vengeance because that was the last thing that his dying wife gave him before she died.
Oh, okay. That was gonna be my question.
Yeah.
I've been so confused. I thought
his wife died. Bridget.
And...
I think it was Bridget Moynihan. I think is the name. Or no.
Michelle Moynihan.
Yeah. No. It is Bridget Moynihan, the chick from iRobot. Or whatever.
Oh yeah.
So she was his wife. She dies. Okay. That's like, that's like beginning. That's like exposition, pretty much.
Ruin the movie, Mikey.
That's not even spoiler. That's not even spoiler. That's
not even in the trailer.
Why do I even need to watch it now? Jesus Christ.
Yeah. No. And what do you call it? So she gives him this dog, and then these fucking guys. Actually, it was Reek from Game of Thrones. I don't know if you remember. But, Alfie Allen? Yeah.
Yes,
okay.
Yes.
So he and a band of misfits decide to rob his ass.
Theon.
Yeah, Theon, yeah. So him and a band of miscreants decide to rob his ass, and they kill his dog, man. So he gets so pissed, and he's like, "Yo, that like my wife gave me that shit."
Yeah, he
and
comes out of retirement basically.
They kill his dog, and then he kills 200 to 300 people over the next 3 movies.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, I always thought that it was, again, like, it came out kind of after the whole Taken thing and all, like, around then at least. And I thought it was just another, like, rip-off or just an attempt at capitalizing on that. Mikey, do you think it is better than the Taken, at least Taken 1, like John Wick?
Definitely.
Taken,
all three John Wicks beat all the Takens for sure.
Hell yeah. All right.
I mean, the first Taken is an amazing
Definitely need
movie.
to get that. I mean,
Liam Neeson's great, but it's like, that's Neo, dude.
It's not the amount of training that he went through. Like, just watching videos of him training and shooting is insane.
And Lawrence Fishburne is in 2 and 3.
Really?
Fucking Lawrence
Fishburne.
Fishburne.
Yeah, dude.
No, he's not in the first one.
I saw that in number
He did show up in the
3. I
second
saw
one.
number 3 that Jason Mantzoukas had a role in it. And playing
Yeah,
like the
he
homeless,
does.
like the matchstick guy or some weird, I forget what the name they said, it's something that was describing his character. And I was like, all right, I can't just watch number 3 just to watch Jason Mantzoukas in a role.
You have to see.
I have to see all of this.
It goes right in order. It's
Halle
like
Berry's in number
movie.
3 too.
Halle Berry is so
The way
awesome
the second one
with the
opens
dogs.
is amazing.
Oh, and what's his face is in 3 too? Another Game of Thrones guy. The guy who plays Bronn.
Yeah.
Bronn is in it. Yeah, Bronn's in it. Yeah.
Oh, fuck yeah. Oh, hell yeah. All right, so you all agree I'm an idiot for not having seen any of these movies.
Yes.
Although,
You
Mike,
love Keanu, dude. You have to.
I love
Mikey,
Keanu.
just
I
because
love
you saw
Keanu.
this. In 3, when he meets like the dude in the desert, you know right?
Yeah.
Tell me that dude in the. I don't know the actor's name, but it should have been played by Simon Rex. It should have been played by fucking Dark Nasty himself.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh my God.
I love Dirt Nasty.
All right, so Mikey, what would be a movie for you? And I'm really kind of stoked to hear what you say, just because, again, whenever I think about movies, talking to somebody about movies, you are one of my go-to people because you are a wealth of knowledge. What is a movie that maybe you have been embarrassed about not seeing, or just for whatever reason that has just slipped under the radar for you, whether it's new, old, anything like that? What is your
I got 2.
movie?
I got 2 off the top of my head that are like big ones, I feel like.
Okay.
First one's Braveheart.
Oh,
that's a good
whoa! Okay.
Yeah, I've never seen Braveheart, and I feel like it's just so past it, and everybody's been like, "Dude, you gotta watch it. You gotta watch it. It's so good." So at this point, I feel like, "Oh no, it's so good." So it's just like it's so good already to me that like
you can quote all the good parts that you need to at this point.
I'm just like, yeah, okay.
Pop culture's
like
ruined
it's
the movie
so
for
good.
it.
Yeah. And then the second one is Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
That's another great
All
movie,
right.
dude.
Well, I will jump right on first. Braveheart. Yeah, I feel like if you have seen clips of
If you have
Braveheart,
18 hours to sit down and dedicate,
seriously, that is the
watch
problem.
that movie.
That is the problem with some.
What,
some
Eternal
movies.
Sunshine?
No,
Braveheart.
Braveheart.
It's like 3.5 hours long. It's so goddamn.
I was like
fucking
18
long.
hours. I was like, my God.
It
man.
is called the Eternal Sunshine.
Eternal.
Yeah.
The movie
It
never
literally
ends.
doesn't end. It
Well,
just
what you don't
loops.
understand about Eternal Sunshine is the moment you put it on, it injects your veins with some fucking
with Eternal
hallucinogens.
Sunshine.
Yep, exactly. You get Eternal Sunshine in your veins.
Spotless Mind.
Into your spotless mind. Now, I would say, as far as Braveheart goes, it's kind of, I can understand that, especially like knowing your age. It was a movie that by the time you got to the age of watching war movies or giant battle movies, even if you watched them young, to watch a 3.5 hour one just seems like an ordeal.
Yeah.
For me, a similar movie to that for a while was, or all of them were The Godfathers. I was probably like 22 before I actually sat down and watched The Godfather.
Which is hilarious because I've definitely seen all 3 Godfathers numerous times since I'm like a teenager.
Sure.
And you could have taken one of those times and just
watch a Braveheart once at least.
But
yeah,
I
and
get
I just
it,
still
I
haven't
get
done
it.
it.
You can watch
And I own it. I have it on Blu-ray.
You do have
and it's like
you have Blu-ray of Braveheart.
A Braveheart, and I just what do you call it? I just like still haven't watched it.
I would say the one reason I would give you to watch the movie, it's a great movie. It's a phenomenal film. Obviously, it was a lot of really hard work went into making it. The best part are really, there's just one scene where they're in the middle of a battle and like a Fiat drives by in the background and they missed it totally. And it's just like, they can take our land and our lives and they'll never take our freedom. Or that Fiat over there just driving right by. I would say, whatever. But honestly, in my opinion, whatever with that one. Like, I get it. If you've seen
Eternal Sunshine
is
one of my favorite Jim Carrey roles.
I hate Jim Carrey too, and I love.
And you
that's
love
a good
that.
movie.
You hate? Wow.
Man.
He doesn't like a lot of people that are funny.
Yeah, I was gonna say I've never heard someone say they hate Jim Carrey.
I don't hate it. He has some good films. There's some Jim Carrey movies that
Are you not a fan of his comedy stuff? Like, you're not a fan of like
it's the
Dumb
personal
and Dumber
side of
and
things,
Ace
right?
Ventura?
I don't think Jim Carrey's ever made a film. I think he's plenty of movies.
Yeah.
You haven't seen
number
Eternal
23, dude.
Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Oh, okay, yes.
Sunshine is
Okay,
a film.
you're right. You're 110% right, but that's because of the director, not because of Jim Carrey.
Watch the movie, though.
True.
It
It
is an absolute
It is a movie that will make
mind-fucking
you...
movie.
Dude, Truman Show is a film.
Truman Show is a film, and I'll give him the Majestic.
And that's a great movie.
Yeah.
Those are great movies.
Yeah, the number 23
Man on
is
the Moon?
almost a film. Man on the Moon is a film.
That is a film.
He has made some films. Mr. Popper's Penguins.
He was great, dude.
Movie.
I know he was just. I know he was just a small role, but he was awesome in Kick-Ass. Like that was to me.
Oh
that's a film.
yeah. That was.
Kick-Ass 2.
Yeah.
Kick-Ass 2 is not a film. Kick-Ass 2 is not a film.
I would say,
Fucking
outside
film,
of Mikey,
dude.
that is a movie there.
Yeah, that's a movie.
But Eternal Sunshine, aside from the direction, the writing, everything like that, it is the movie I remember for giving us Mark Ruffalo. Really, like that's the first time I remember Mark Ruffalo in a
really.
like playing the sweetheart of some fucking, or playing a ghost, or living in a hotel with a ghost, or whatever the fucking movies he made for years and years and years. 13 going on 30 and all that shit. This is like the
You ain't
first
never
time.
given up Marvel, dude.
Oh God, no! He took Edward Norton's money and ran with it for forever. But that movie is a movie that will make you, not in style in any way, but the way that I will watch Dead Poets Society, and at the end of the day, just be like, "Oh, that was such a good movie." Why is it so depressing and beautiful?
Yeah.
But it's
That
such
I
a
haven't
good-
seen either.
I was gonna say, I'm
man.
pretty sure I remember you saying
We
Dead
talked
Poets
about
Society.
this.
Yep,
We talked
yep.
about this, yeah.
Yep.
And we said we were going to watch it together, but we just haven't gotten around to it.
just
But we
haven't
will
gotten around
soon.
to it.
We'll
Yeah.
definitely do it, yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously.
All right, Justin, what about you? What is a movie that you have been just not seeing?
All right, there are two more recent movies.
Okay.
The first one's Hereditary.
All
It's a
right.
horror
Ooh, I
movie.
got to see that too.
I've been wanting to see
And
that.
for you, most horror movies, you're pretty much, you're not all of them, but a lot of the good, like, impressive ones, you're pretty much on top of.
Yeah, I mean, I like to dabble in horror. I mean, I have friends that, I mean, obviously my buddy Greg, who is a horror fanatic,
Yeah.
sends me all kinds of shit. The last thing he just sent me was Mothers and Monsters, which looks like, I did actually see that. It's a fucking insane movie. He sent me a movie called Megan is Missing, and he is not necessarily more about like the remakes and shit like that. So like, I'm on the same page as far as horror goes with him. You know what I mean? Like, he's looking for things that's gonna fuck with your head, instead of jump out at you, which is fine and everything. And Hereditary definitely looks that way.
Is Hereditary the one with the girl?
Yes.
The one that...
The grandmother dies. The girl's
and
like very
the girl
weird
was
looking.
played by somebody with that was actually like on the spectrum, like played that character, or did makeup to
I
make
think
her
there was
look...
some makeup, but I think she's
that
not
was
the
the
nicest
creepiest like, and I never wanted to say it because I didn't know if this is the girl's natural face, but fuck you if you're a filmmaker and you made her, you know, terrifying, and that's just her natural face. But it was literally one of the scariest. Just, this is what the way the person looks like. If they just if you walked in a room and that girl was just staring at you,
Yeah.
like I would have lost my fucking shit.
I actually thought of another, which I've rented twice and have not had a chance to
Ooh, so that's extra
to watch. Doctor Sleep.
Oh, yeah, I still have
Which
not
I
seen
need to
that.
see
Yeah, I definitely need to see
That
that.
came out on Zach's birthday. We had talked about going to see that.
It's the second part of The Shining.
Yeah, The Shining, because it was your birthday. Or no, it was the day before your birthday, which is why I missed your birthday until the next day, when your mom might have messaged me, or I might have messaged your mom and been like, "Is it Zach's birthday today?" And she's like, "It was yesterday. Did you guys really miss it, you assholes?" Yeah. But
Yes.
yeah, I was planning on seeing that yet and have not got around to it. I've heard really good things
I've heard
about
great
it.
things about it.
Heard
Yeah.
great things about
It's
it.
and I've rented it twice. It's just that things have not worked out to the point that I could sit down.
And when
watch
you're
it.
renting it like
Redbox.
on like Redbox. Okay, all right.
Yeah, like if I rented it on the PlayStation,
You'd
I
have
have 30 days
days
before I actually physically watch
okay.
it.
I was saying that would be extra weird if the movie's
if
only
I
been
let
out
it
for like
roll
4
over.
months and you've had 2 months of
Yeah,
renting it and
yeah.
not seeing it.
And then the other is Ford versus Ferrari.
I really do want to see
that
that.
You
was
saw
great.
that in theaters with
I
your
saw that.
dad.
I had to, because, like, I'm just such a car nerd.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? That's, like, such a huge fucking story.
Oh yeah,
Right.
It's so good, that movie.
yeah. See, I was always confused when they were putting that together that neither of them play Ford or Ferrari. Like, I was like, oh, they're playing Ford and Ferrari in this movie. But neither of them play Ford or Ferrari,
no,
right?
they're both on Team Ford.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, Matt Damon plays Carroll Shelby.
Yeah.
Probably one of the most famous American car guys ever.
And then what was the other film about everybody playing different senators and shit? Not senators, but
Oh, the George W. Bush one?
Was it the George W.
Or
Bush
Vice?
Vice, yeah.
Vice. I want
to see that.
Either.
I almost said Clooney.
I need to see that.
Almost said Clooney. Yeah, Vice was
Shady Clooney.
Yeah, Dick Clooney. Dick Clooney. All right, Zach. What about you? Any movies that
I got two on the top of my head. One we've talked about it before. I've never seen Shawshank.
Yeah, you need
I've
to see
never
that.
seen it. I need to.
Which is like universally looked at as that minimum
then start
the top
watching Castle
5
Rock.
movies of all time.
Oh yeah, Castle Rock is so good.
But most lists lists will put literally like it's Citizen Kane, and then Shawshank or Citizen Kane, Casablanca, Shawshank.
Citizen
Like it's
Sane.
right.
It's my new movie,
there.
Citizen Sane.
Citizen Sane. Yeah, I definitely just off that alone, like the amount of homages and other things to that story, the amount of like little jokes that you've probably missed in things that you've watched because of how instrumental that was in like really just filmmaking in the 90s.
It was just like I didn't choose not to watch it. I just missed it.
You obviously don't sit around on AMC on a Saturday afternoon and watch Forrest Gump and that.
I don't really watch movies.
We were talking about this too, and it's when we were thinking about, or at least when Kyle had brought it up, he was like, you know, that movie that you see even on streaming sites, and you're like, oh yeah, I need to see that. Let me just see what else is there.
Yeah. I put so many movies and movies that I have on this list. I've put on like my watch later list or whatever, like, and I just scroll right by them. I'm like, yeah, one day I'll get around to Rambo 3.
The other one that I've been meaning to watch and I haven't, and it's on Hulu right now, is Lords of Chaos.
I do need to see that too.
Yes.
Yeah, I heard it's terrible though. But given the source of who said it was terrible,
I just want to watch it because I do love black metal and the whole...
And the Culkins. You love the whole Culkin clan.
Yeah?
That's reason enough to watch it. All right, I would say then, okay, so my, like, John Wick is probably the one that is the most recent that I've never gotten around to see. I was scouring through the lists of things that I had made years ago to see what I had missed, and I think the one that is... There's a 1A and a 1B for probably the most offensive if you are a movie fan like I am for me to have not seen. And they are kind of in no order. Apocalypse Now. I've never sat through. I think I've started Apocalypse Now a bunch. I've definitely rented it numerous times when it was like on DVD and probably even VHS. Have you sat
through Platoon though?
I've sat through Platoon, Full Metal Jacket, like all those. I've seen most every classic war movie, especially of that era, but I've never sat through all of that. But then the one that I'm probably the most ashamed about, and the one that I've definitely lied about having seen just to get out of the conversation of how the fuck have you not seen that, and I'm going to get ready for Mikey right now, I've never seen Taxi Driver.
Really?
Oh wow!
Me neither.
Any Scorsese is just like a must. Like
I've never seen Mean Streets, but I think that's a little bit less of like a come on, because that's harder to come by.
Yeah,
but
I'll give you that.
Taxi Driver. I will say I bought a movie called Street Smart that stars Christopher Reeves and Morgan Freeman from like '84. And I thought that was Mean Streets, and I remember watching it and just being like, wait, what does Harvey Keitel show up?
You thought it was Taxi Driver?
I thought it was Mean Streets. But Taxi Driver, I've seen the movie Taxi with Jimmy Fallon and Queen Latifah, and I've not seen
the show Taxi?
That's a bad, and I've watched the show Taxi, and I've never seen Taxi Driver.
You ever play Crazy Taxi?
Great game.
I've never played
Great
that.
game,
No.
except for
you ever drove Taxi?
I've driven in plenty of taxis in my life. That's why I figure I know the story.
No, you ever drove Taxi, not drove in one.
No, I never drove taxi. Never drove taxi.
You ever drove taxes up?
Oh, I've probably driven taxis up.
Yeah, you ever done taxes?
You ever done? Yeah, I heard you smoke You smoke
Or have you
meth,
been to
but you ever
Texas?
done your taxes?
Have you done taxidermy?
You ever done taxes in Texas? I don't know.
Blah, 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 blah.
All right.
You should definitely watch that.
I need to. That's the one that I'm probably the most ashamed about, for sure. Do any of you have like one that you haven't said yet that is like the one that like literally like for Taxi Driver, it weighs on my soul that I have not seen it, and I have looked at it on HBO or any other streaming service and been like, you talking to me? Okay, I know the movie. I don't need to watch that
as
anymore.
a highly revered.
Yeah, like a highly revered movie. Like I said before, like it took making this list back in 2007 for me to watch all of the Godfather movies.
I've never sat through Gone with the Wind.
Ooh, God! See, that's another hard one that I probably have only watched because
I've seen parts of it.
Yeah,
but I've never been like I'm sitting down.
You can see an hour and a half of that movie. I
need to watch Gone with the Wind. That's like some college shit. Like you watch Gone with the Wind because you got to write a paper on it in college or some shit.
Or you're
we're all
in.
way beyond that because we're old.
We're way beyond that.
You can go to college
age.
at any.
No, they cut us off. We've got a
you
weight
don't go
limit
to college for film at 35.
I mean,
you don't.
You can go to college just to hang out in a dorm.
You go to college for fucking whatever you want, as long as you pay them.
Rich is saying you would make a fantastic ventriloquist. You can't even see your lips move.
Yeah,
I know. I'm watching. I'm actually watching it on YouTube. Yeah,
really smooth. In the chat, I think Jeff is meaning this in relation to our conversation now. It was a little bit earlier. He said Pineapple Express. Pineapple Express is a movie.
I love that movie.
That is a great
movie.
That is a really fun movie. And actually, tomorrow night I'm doing a stoner movie trivia on the Facebook Live trivia that I've been doing, and that will definitely make its way in there.
Has everybody here seen Half Baked?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I've seen Half Baked. Now, has everybody here seen Screwed? My favorite Dave Chappelle movie ever. Dave Chappelle, Norm Macdonald.
Oh, Norm Macdonald. Yeah, I was gonna say I definitely seen that shit.
Basically, it's a play on Scrooged. Even like it's supposed to be. It's Christmas time. Norm Macdonald's a butler whose dad was a butler for the same evil old, who's basically just Mom from Futurama. That's what the character is. It's just this old, haggard, old, like bitchy, mean lady. And they decide to kidnap her dog and charge a ransom, but then the dog gets away, and Norm Macdonald's blood gets all over the place, so they think Norm Macdonald's been kidnapped. And I watched that the other day. That is fucking one of the funniest movies, and it's Chappelle and Macdonald. I mean, the two of them just back and forth, super stupid, super funny. But I'd probably seen that 20 times before I ever saw Half Baked. Half Baked was another late. Like in life, I didn't smoke weed in high school. Dirty
Work is amazing.
Dirty Work
is
Bob
fantastic.
Saget
Dirty Work is the fucking best. That's the fucking best shit.
Perfect.
But as far as Half Baked, I didn't watch Half Baked before I did anything. You know what I mean? Like before I smoked weed or anything like that.
Yeah.
Like, it's it came out when I was super young, and obviously I wasn't into the shit at that point. But I don't know. I mean, what about? I just watched 2 animated films recently that I totally recommend. And if you haven't seen them, Lego Movie 2.
Yes.
And Teen Titans Go to the Movie, actually.
Oh, I've
not
seen
I've seen that. Fucking good, dude.
I would say my last thing that I had written down for if it got to this, and since you brought up animated, I'll just have to say it. It's not a shock to any of you,
Akira?
But I've never seen Spirited. As I wrote it here, I've never seen Spirited Away or any other anime that was not made for a Sturgill Simpson.
So you've
album.
never seen any Studio Ghibli movie?
Nothing.
Oh
nothing.
my
Put any of them on.
dude.
I've never.
You will love them.
I've watched.
They're so fucking.
The Sturgill Simpson anime that he made. That's literally just music videos. That the artwork is phenomenal for his latest album. I've seen that. I've seen some like really weird knockoff like Christian featured films for family anime thing when I was a kid, so I kind of got like into the art style a little bit as a kid. But then once it got to like Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon, everybody I knew that liked that just threw it in my face, and I was like, this stuff is too much. And then when they got to the point where I trusted them to suggest things to me, I was like, yeah, I'm not watching cartoons like that, man. But then I watched Futurama like it's my job. So there's a little.
And you watch Disney movies,
I watch Disney movies all the time.
It's a Disney company now.
is basically Japanese.
What would be
Disney.
the starting point if you had to give me one anime?
How much do you like? Do you love Billy Crystal?
Starting point to watch anime? To start watching anime?
No. To watch anime?
Or to watch a movie.
Or anime or animated cartoon.
Watch Howl's Moving Castle.
Yes, I agree with that.
Because Billy Crystal is one of the voices.
Okay.
And it...
See, that's the way to
get it. Akira.
That's the same guy who made...
Akira. I was going to say Akira.
Away and, now, Akira is way more hard sci-fi.
Yeah. Well, it's hard sci-fi. You would love it because of the fact that it's hard sci-fi.
Yeah.
There's a very... The only thing you have to understand with a lot of anime when you get into it is there's a very much a lot of over-the-top shit. So when you look at something, it's like, wait, why is that dude fucking screaming when it's like he's just trying? You know what I mean?
In my opinion, that movie is second to none. Like, there's not a single, like, I know that I mean, and I'm talking like I love Akira.
I love Akira.
Yeah, Akira, because like even with Spider-Verse out and like how crazy all the animation styles were in that movie, I can honestly say though that Akira, Akira was just like on that whole other fucking level, dude. It is. Would you say it was the Godfather?
Yeah, it's the Godfather of anime.
It's the Godfather of anime. Fuck yeah, absolutely.
I mean, if it wasn't for that film doing what they did, anime would probably still be a little bit behind other animated fucking studios. For sure. But yeah, that movie's just like holy, like. We're definitely gonna fucking watch that. Well,
we're gonna,
here's the thing. I'm totally down to watch that shit. All of the Studio Ghibli movies with you because there's a few of them that I have not.
I have most of them. I have most of them on DVD. I've not seen the
newer ones, like the girl who's flying around the one fucking planet or whatever. I have not seen that, but I love their art style to the point that they have 2 video games out called Ni no Kuni, Wrath of the White Witch.
Austin was just telling me to buy that shit, and I was like, I already got it, son.
It's such a beautiful game because of the art style. You know what I mean? The storytelling and the way that they go about it. Howl's Moving Castle, I completely agree that would be a fucking great starting point to like literally sit down, fucking just watch or chill and relax.
Those movies are good.
They're great.
The dubbing of them sound like obnoxious,
fucking
stupid.
fantastic.
It's professional.
Hell yeah.
Hollywood act. Billy Crystal is Billy Crystal plays this tiny flame.
Oh, okay.
Like he's fire.
Yeah.
That's what he plays in the movie.
He plays fire.
Yes.
And I agree with Zach in the statement that they are basically the Japanese version of a Disney movie.
They're fantasy. They're happy.
Okay.
They're like not necessarily happy, but like more so. Like Akira is hard sci-fi.
Yes.
But the Studio Ghibli movies are more in your sort of Disney wheelhouse.
Now, would people are not getting their heads ripped off or blown away or any of that shit.
You want to watch Fists of the North Star?
Fists of the North Star, sure.
Oh yeah.
Whose star are we fisting? What?
Fists of the North Star.
Or if you really want to get into stuff, you can start watching some of the Full Metal Alchemist movies, but then that goes into like a deep, weird fucking.
Full Metal Alchemist is great.
Well, no. Don't watch the Full Metal Alchemist movies because those.
I'm just saying if you want it to, I know where they go, but I'm saying if as a starting point to get into something.
Well, with those 2 Full Metal movies, those are actually literally the ending to each individual series.
I understand that, but I mean it may get him into being like, fuck it, maybe I'll sit down and watch an episode of something.
Yeah, Justin. Yeah. Watching the ending of something's totally gonna get me into something.
I wasn't trying to tell him that it was the fucking ending.
Oh, way to ruin it all for me.
But
guys.
how is he?
Wow.
Because
he's gonna know because
I remember things.
Sure.
Because they're gonna be talking about all the shit that happens
throughout
the
live
show.
Action Full Metal Alchemist. You don't need anything.
All right. Now, would you say if you guys were to decide for me that I watch either the anime of your choosing, whatever it is that you think is better for me, or John Wick 1, 2, and 3, which do you think I would need to watch? Knowing me, which
John Wick, hands
watch
down.
John Wick by yourself, and we'll watch the animated shit with you.
That might be the way to do it because the anime stuff I might need. Because I'm a talker,
let me curate
if you don't know. Yeah, exactly. I need somebody kind of there with me to be like, hey, so like this is why you should be like if I was walking around a museum, it would be easier for me to have someone go, this is why this is an impressive piece of art, and I can go,
oh, this is so cool. Yeah. I'm gonna come up with a list for you. I'm gonna give you like a playlist.
It could be like
a curated
we
playlist.
We did a thing in the past called Gamer Not Gamer. Now we can just watch like
we can watch movies.
Weeb or not Weeb.
What is it?
Wait. Say that one more. What'd you say?
Weeb.
Yeah.
Is that what you call people that like anime movies? I was trying to think of the word.
Weeb, yeah, to weeb or not to weeb.
It's like a Caucasian person
Yeah.
who's really obsessed with anime and anime culture.
And those are the guys that I didn't watch these movies because of in high
Yeah.
school.
Yeah, it's
like,
like listening to
Weebs
Dave
are the
Matthews
worst,
Band
dude.
Yeah,
or whatever.
exactly. They had flame shirts and they had dragon pendants and they had like weird
One
shit.
word.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
One word.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
One word. Oh,
Yeah, they were like one ramen noodle
Omar.
away from speaking Japanese.
Peanut Gallery. That's where you. Oh God. All right, wonderful. All right, guys. Well, Mikey, thank you so much for jumping in with us tonight to talk movies and stuff. We'll get you back on and your beautiful face once you're all settled in. At the,
Once I'm all
place.
settled up, yeah.
Or once we're all legally allowed to be around each other. Now, every week
We're allowed to be around each other because we all bang each other.
Yeah. If you're already going ass to ass with somebody, you can do whatever.
Yeah.
If your mouth and your butts are already touching, there's no rules.
No
there.
butt stuff, dude.
No new butt stuff.
Oh, no new
butt
okay.
stuff. Old
Yeah.
butt stuff is fine.
We're used to each other's butts.
We are. We're already acclimated with each other's assholes. Now every week we like to do a little crossover with our brother sister love podcast. Let me ask you a question. Every week on that show, Mr. Anthony DeAngelis asks a random question, and the guys try to give their best answer to it. So without any further delay, let's jump right into Let Me Ask You a Question from Let Me Ask You a Question.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question.
All right, guys. So on this most recent episode, dropped on the Moot Mondays every Monday on now Spotify and also iTunes or your Apple Podcasts app and Stitcher for podcasts if you're a non-Apple user. We like to take that question. I ask you that question. In yesterday's episode, Anthony asked this question. And sometimes, I feel like what they ask doesn't phase us half the time.
Fair enough.
But this one I think we could have some fun with. And Mikey, feel free to chime in as well. Can you say anything you want to a telemarketer? That is the question. Can you say anything if they call you and you answer the phone, are you, it's a legal thing or a moral thing, for you personally, do you think it's all right for you to say anything you want to that person because they bothered you and they called you, whether it's like threatening them or being disgusting or being perverted in some way?
I've definitely fucked with telemarketers before.
You definitely have?
Yeah, I mean,
definitely have.
It's definitely, it's one of those things where it's, you're cold calling most of these people, so it's like you're bothering them, so it's like you're almost expecting it. And I mean, I used to do this because I used to work for the Manhattan Club.
You
did.
And I was a telemarketer
You're
quite a while.
one
And
of them.
what do you call? I was one of them. Yeah. I defected, but what do you call it?
Is that why you keep getting these fucking phone calls, Mikey?
Yeah, it's all Mikey.
God damn it.
He just likes for good old times to call people and sell them timeshares.
That's my side hustle. That's my side hustle. I sell my friends' phone numbers. Fucking.
So what is the okay, as a telemarketer in the past, what is like the most absurd situation you've ever found yourself in with somebody talking to you? Has anybody ever been like grotesque and over the top to you as the person trying to sell them something?
You know what? Constantly, the number one thing that we would get would be people doing accents and like trying to talk like they're not from like. That's when people get ballsy enough to like try their British accent.
Oh, they're like, and now
Like
now what are you talking
like they
about?
can't do it in front of their friends because they're too embarrassed. So they're like, "Ooh, telemarketers, he'll listen to me."
That's a good
You know
idea.
what I mean?
I
So
could
it's
really
like-
start working on some character work by just answering every fight.
Oh yeah, no joke. Like that's totally what people would do, and they would talk to me and like, what do you call it? And then honestly, what it started making me like, because I asked the manager, I was like, "Is this going to be a problem? Like if I were to do that, would it be a problem? Like, do you guys care?"
Yeah,
They're
can I
like,
do a
"No,
character
people
voice?"
do that." See, people do that though. People will use like a British accent or like some sort of accent to like get people to, what do you call it?
Off.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. So I was like, okay. So then I started doing my British accent, and I'm like, I'm pretty good at it. I could do.
Did you ever get any good results off of doing your British accent?
Oh yeah, because I used to do surveys, and I used to like get pretty good surveys all the time. Like it's actually like the first time I ever worked there, I got canned in like 4 weeks, and then I got hired again because the turnaround's so high. Yeah. The turnaround is so high, so they were like, oh fuck it, we need this guy. And so what do you call it? So I got there again. I worked there for like 6 months. So what do you call it? So I like really got into like the meat and potatoes of it or whatever.
Hell yeah!
It's not bad. It's like
I have heard stories. There was one internet story about a dude sharing the phone call where he got a telemarketer that wouldn't leave him alone, and basically he pretended that he was a cop, and there was just a murder scene like that. He had been murdered. Now the telemarketer has to stay on the line because they're being asked questions because they're calling the phone of somebody that's deceased and all this shit.
Jesus, that's perfect. See, I would go as far as like I've done the accent thing for sure. I have just responded with every question with a question, like just to see how long I could go on. Yeah, Euro Mikey, nice. How long I could go on and bother them. But the one thing that I've always noticed, and I don't know if this was true when you were doing it, Mikey, the second that the person swears at you, you're allowed to get off the phone. Like the second that they like go,
absolutely.
You know what, go fuck her, you can hang up right there and you won't get in trouble.
Wait, were you not allowed to hang up at any point? They had to hang up on you?
It's not that you weren't allowed to hang up. It's just like, do you want your job, or like you want like, because if you don't get the surveys,
you gotta make your 10 sales each week.
Yeah, if you don't get your surveys done or whatever, then you'll get canned like I did in 4 weeks. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean in comparison, and I know this is different because they're calling you, but like Microsoft tech support cannot hang up with you until the person hangs up the line.
Yeah. Now
like they're not allowed to.
Will they go
through that's
you
a little different. I feel like
them and shit like that.
What's that?
Will they go through the swearing and like the obscenities? Or
I mean, basically though, if it gets to a point like there's a dude that does ownage pranks. It's called.
Oh yes.
And he had them on literally for about an hour and a half, and the lady was real sweet.
That's the guy who's like, I'm keeping you on the line as long as I can, so you're not.
Yeah, and they were having
a
good time at one point.
Yeah.
But he did curse a few times, and the lady was like, "Look, if you keep cursing at me, I can hang up.
I can hang up."
Yeah.
All right,
like,
Zach,
I'm gonna have to let you
have
go.
you ever found yourself in a situation with a telemarketer that you've verbally accosted them, harassed them, or just taken it to the max in any way?
No. I just hang up.
You just hang up. No time of day.
Then now it's like. If I don't know the number, I don't answer.
Yeah,
the phone.
yeah. I've
they
got
can
the
leave
thing
me a message.
Unless I'm expecting a call.
Yeah.
They can leave a message.
Yeah, I
exactly.
If it's
messages.
Important, you can leave me a message.
Yeah. Or if you're a real human from a cell phone, you'll text me, "Hey, I just called you."
The funniest thing ever, I think, to do is you get those where you got to call in some places like for your whatever, this phone call may be recorded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then when the person picks up, be like, "Hey, I just want to let you know, I'm recording this on my end too."
Yeah.
And people get like, "What?" It was like, "Well, your system said you guys were recording this,
so I'm doing it too."
I am also. I got my shit at the Radio Shack, and I am also. This was back in the day we used to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got my shit at the Radio Shack, and I'm also recording this conversation.
Yeah.
And then those people get real weird.
Oh, I bet.
Wait, what? We're like, yeah, you're recording me. I'm recording you. I'm just letting you know as a courtesy. Like,
yeah.
You called us. Like,
I don't have to tell you that I'm recording.
You, but I'm recording you.
Technically, you would have to let them know that you're recording the conversation.
I thought it was more on the lines of like, if you, in the same way as like, if you come into my house. If you come into my house, I can rape you. That's
I mean,
the
you
law
may
says.
be able to record it,
In
but it might not be
Pennsylvania,
something that would hold up.
admissible.
Anywhere. You know what I mean?
I always
not
thought
that
if it was
I ever
on
recorded
you that
any
you
of those
should-
conversations.
You just said you did.
But like people get all like, "What? Like you're recording me? Yeah, I'm recording you too." Just
really thrown for a loop.
Just letting you know.
Yeah.
Be careful what you're saying.
Now, if you had no qualms about it whatsoever, and it was somebody that was calling, and like the number just kept calling, would you ever?
I just block them.
You would just block them. You would
never.
never.
My phone has like 100 blocked numbers in it. Because if I get a call from somewhere, and I pick it up and it is a telemarketer thing, I immediately just block that number.
Just block that number.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have luckily the thing for the iPhone 11 that I can just hit that button that is ignore all calls from people I don't know. Which will hurt once in a while when somebody's trying to get a hold of me. But again, you will text me or you will leave me a voicemail, and I'll be able to check that out. But I think telemarketing is I mean, Mikey, you've done the job. It's a low form of employment. It's like literally you're getting paid minimum wage to basically just sell your soul every single day.
No.
And you're getting paid more than minimum wage?
Oh yeah, dude. I was like 17 years old starting. What do you call it? And then eventually got bumped up to
Yeah, you cut out on the number. Your number cut out.
Oh, what do you call it? I started at 17 years old.
Yeah.
There. What do you call it? And I started at $9 an hour.
Okay.
And,
where were you working, if you don't mind me asking?
Manhattan
the Manhattan Club.
Oh, Manhattan Club. Okay,
Manhattan Club.
Yeah. And then the what do you call it? And then the second time around, I had made it to $10 an hour.
Okay.
And I was like 18.
So it's just like commissions
you were
for
17.
things?
That was 30 years ago.
35 years ago.
Pretty fucking close.
Welcome to the club, motherfucker.
You and Justin need to get your AARP cards in order.
Yeah. Oh no, I already got them, son.
Oh.
But what do you call it? What was I gonna say? No. Okay, so surveys they don't make sales, so there's no commission there.
Okay.
But if you went to outbound, and then like there's like a booking, there's like another booking one where you actually sell like the actual timeshares or whatever.
Yeah.
Of
So
the
it
place.
was for timeshares. Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Well, the Manhattan Club is literally a hotel in Manhattan on West 42nd West 42nd
exactly.
Street. Yeah.
Yep.
And it's actually right across from a Hooters. The Hooters in Times Square.
Does that sell it for people? You're like, you can go get
yeah,
breakfast,
honestly,
lunch,
it
and
does.
dinner.
Yeah.
Some boobies.
At the Hooters, and a boobie.
Get wings and breasts. Hello.
What do you call it? Yeah, and it's so funny too because it's like I went to this place like because they took all the telemarketers on a trip to this place so that way we could better sell the place to these
Makes
people.
sense. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, for sure. Yo, this place was trash, bro. You're better off just going to the fucking Best Western, homie.
Fuck.
I was like, yo, that's insane, bro. I was like, West 42nd Street or some shit, and it's like the building just like looked like fucking caca-doodoo, son.
I mean,
and it was just what do you call it?
Think about it.
Yeah,
It's a place
and it was just
trying to sell people on fucking shit by calling
Well, what
them.
happened was it's because it's like I don't even think it's called the Manhattan Club. Like I think a completely different marketing company bought out that building and like everything, because they were busted overselling their timeshares, so they would double and triple sell their timeshares, and then people would come there to use their timeshares and be like, oh well, sorry, like the people that were there prior like are like extended their time
and these
or whatever.
people have come from
and then,
out
like,
of state, and they're expecting
yeah,
a
for
place
sure.
to stay.
Yeah.
And they would put them in there. They would put them in a different room that wasn't their timeshare, and then Tetris them around and stuff like that.
Fuck
and
that.
yeah, dude. So they got busted up left and right. So I don't even know if that's companies
All
like
right. Well,
actually
then I
got
think-
companies.
Don't
I mean,
oversell your timeshares.
Our group answer then, going off of Mikey having experience working this, you definitely are allowed to say weird and terrible shit to the telemarketer. And if you start
Yeah, 'cause
cursing,
they can hang up whenever they want.
They can hang up. Yeah, they can hang up.
Yeah.
All right. Well, again, Mikey, thank you so much for joining us tonight, brother.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Again, it'll be really sweet to be able to have real guests in person someday soon. But thank you so much for setting some time aside from your very busy schedule.
Yeah, boy.
To be here with us. Again, I want to be
Fortnite in a bit, Mikey.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
I want to give a big shout out to Dave Beecher, One Man Show. Go check out One Man Show Music. Again, no W, onemanshowmusic.com. You can check him out on Spotify. You can check him out on Facebook and also on Instagram. And then iTunes, Apple Music, all of that. Big thank you to the guys over at Let Me Ask You a Question and Eric at Moot.tv for getting all of this out to you guys. Again, now we're going to be on Spotify. We're also on iTunes and Stitcher, so go check that out. I'm actually going to be recording my first episode with them on Let Me Ask You a Question this Friday. And since I'm an inept idiot, I'll be here doing it, and Justin will be setting me up because I can't do it alone.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be doing an episode of Let Me Ask You a Question that'll be out in the next couple of weeks. So literally he was like, Eric goes, "Yo, can you do the show like Thursday or Friday?" And I went,
I was like, "Oh shit!
Let me check my schedule." Message Justin, "Hey, are you around Friday if I need you to help me do this?" And he's just like, "Yeah, sure, whatever. Just let me know." And then they're like, "What works best for you?" And I'm like, "Literally, just tell me so I can schedule it because I gotta get it actually set up." I played it off where I was like, "Yeah, my new place that I've been living for a year. I'm not fully set up. I've never been set up ever in my life." And, I don't have the proper computer or the know-how to do any of this. But I will be on one of the upcoming episodes of that, so give that look-see. Go check them out again. Moot.tv is the website. You can also find us, our stuff, and let me ask you a question on iTunes, Stitcher, and Spotify. Big thank you to Mr. Justin Olimpado for putting everything together tonight.
Oh, you're welcome.
Oh, thank you.
Don't fucking call my phone, Mikey.
Yeah.
Oh, you know how to do this?
It's all
Justin!
All right, and then as always, a big thank you to Mr. Zachary.
Yeah, I just want to let you know I'm also recording this shit on my end.
Stormin! All righty, guys. We will be back next week with another live episode. We're going to start writing some dance music next week, so if you're looking to get your
Did we decide if we're going to mix old and new?
Yeah, no idea. We haven't really thought much more than saying dance music. And then a couple other ideas that we've thrown out. So we'll be back next week. We'll be putting up different clips from this episode, other episodes throughout the week. And hopefully everybody stays happy.
We are not on break.
Healthy. We are not on break. We will see you guys next Tuesday. All right. Yeah. So thank you very much for tuning in. We'll see you guys then. Have a great rest of your week. Here is our normal theme song to play us out.
Go fuck yourselves.
Go fuck yourselves.
Later.
Love you.
Go
Miss
fuck
you.
yourself. Go fuck yourself.
Go fuck yourselves.
Go fuck yourself.
Bye.
Bye.
Moot.tv.
There's nothing more egomaniacal than singing the theme music for your own show. Who am I? Kelsey Grammer. If I could only drink like him, we're gonna write a new one every week. Some will be solid, some will be weak. We're gonna write a new one every week. Some will be solid, some will be total experimental pieces of shit. We're not over yet. Now we are.